Your mom played basketball with your head as a baby. Unfortunately, apparently Uncle Sam has an outerversal jab. I'm gonna go over why literally if he farts, Naruto dies. If he farts, Saiyan Saga dies for sure. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and you guys destroyed, I mean absolutely violated, the like goal on the last role reversal video. This was, of course, Batman and Spider-Man. You guys literally shattered the like goal in fucking 4 hours. I was like, God damn, I need to raise the like goal. So if you guys want to see this series continue with absolute bangers, let's put it at 300 likes. Not 200, 300. I'm raising it up on you guys, and I hope you exceed and shatter it again. Today's reversal is between two jobbers from each universe, but both of them are stupid powerful, so this could go any way once they reverse. This is the Flash and Silver Surfer. Now, before we get started, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on notifications as I try to post daily, if not videos, lives, or community tab. On top of this, if you haven't already, join the Discord where I am active every day. We do games, prizes, giveaways, D&Ds, and more. As well as if you want to see your favorite content on this channel, hit me up to discuss purchases. I currently have video deals and scan server deals going on. But getting back into this, Silver Surfer and Flash, to me, you can use Wally or Barry. I'll kind of be using middle of the road scaling for both characters in this instance once they swap, unless I feel like their character would go above and beyond what they normally do, which would probably be due to extenuating situations and circumstances given the types of characters they deal with. For example, Flash will go harder against different types of characters. Silver Surfer is the same way. Regardless, I'm excited for this. I've picked 15 rogues / battles for them to swap, and without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, we're going to talk about Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer will be facing 15 battles and rogues from the Flash's resume. Let's see how he stacks up and how he does. The Herald of Galactus is taking the field. Now, first we will go through the breezes and warm-ups. These are battles I feel like are more leaning towards easy for Silver Surfer. He shouldn't struggle too hard, or he's just a bad counter to them. Now for these, first we have Captain Boomerang. Well, yes, he's cool, he's funny to meme about. I have plenty of scans of him hitting the Flash with boomerangs. It's still a fucking dude with a boomerang, bro. I'm sorry, that's just not moving me. As much as I hate on Silver Surfer, he has all the tools in his bag to beat the dog shit out of Boomerang, outstats him in every way possible. He's superior to him in any way. Like, I can't hate on him enough to say Captain Boomerang would beat his ass. But it would be funny to see that, though. I would buy that comic 10 out of 10. But I see Silver Surfer beating the shit out of Captain Boomerang. Next, we have Captain Cold. While Captain Cold is a genius, one of the most famous members of the Flash, also started the Rogues, Captain Cold is still a boy with a slushy gun. I'm sorry. Surfer's gonna fly above him and just nuke his shit. Like, he would beat the fuck out of Captain Cold. Silver Surfer has all the methods to overcome even Absolute Zero. Like, the shit like that, it's not gonna matter to Silver Surfer with his phasing, reality warping, and power cosmic abilities. I'm sorry, Captain Cold gets melted. Next, we have Heatwave. Heatwave is kind of in the same boat as Captain Cold. Despite being elemental geniuses and badasses, Heatwave doesn't have much that Silver Surfer hasn't seen. I mean, if you think Heatwave and Johnny Storm is an absolute battle, sure, I guess, but that still wouldn't matter to Surfer. Surfer should just outscale and kind of ignore what he brings to the table. I mean, this is a being in Silver Surfer that watches like millions of clusters of stars explode and thinks it's interesting. Like, that shit does nothing to him. Next, we have the Top. Now, the Top, I'm not gonna lie, is funny as fuck. He's basically a dude that spins and can deflect shit, and that's how he was built. Really, I'm sorry, dude. Like, Flash has had some shitty rogues over the years. Like, come on, dude, it's bad. Like, can we admit it? Some of his rogues are fucking hilarious and not that serious. The Top doesn't bring anything to the table that should scale Silver Surfer. The best case for these characters, if like Surfer severely underestimates them and just thinks they bring absolutely nothing to the table. But still, they can't actually hurt him. I don't know what the fuck they do. Next, we have Golden Glider, the sister of Captain Cold, in the same boat. Not as brilliant as her brother. She does have like spin-off abilities from him, but nothing to bring to the table that would suggest she's anything of substance to the likes of Silver Surfer. I see him having a relatively easy time dealing with her if she were to run into him. Next, we have Weather Wizard. Your opinion could really differ on this, as Weather Wizard obviously has pretty cool abilities in the elemental sense. But again, Silver Surfer, someone who literally has seen all the cosmos, travels through them, surf novas for fun. Not much Weather Wizard's bringing that's gonna surprise him, shock him, or hurt him. I think Surfer runs through Weather Wizard. Next, and finally, for the battles and warm-ups, or breezes and warm-ups, I should say. Sorry, it's early as shit when I'm recording. It's 6 a.m. We have Mirror Master. Mirror Master is a character I do feel like suffers from his name. You know, Mirror Master kind of sounds stupid as fuck. Sounds really simple, but he can come out of any surface. So technically, he could be a threat. I mean, it'd be funny as shit if he came out the surface of Surfer's board and just owned him. That'd be such a Surfer jobber moment. But I don't really see that happening. Probably catches him and makes him pay for it. I think Surfer should be able to take Mirror Master out. Next, we find ourselves moving on to the tough battles, potential losses, which in my opinion the Surfer section gets really interesting, which I am excited to talk about. First up is Reverse Flash. Straight up, I think Reverse Flash probably dogs him in their first encounter. Reverse Flash is meaner, an absolute prick, existing basically as his own timeline. He's an absolute anomaly, which might be weird for Surfer to deal with at first, and due to his nature, how he goes about business, and overall, he doesn't give a fuck. He might go back in time and kill Norman Rad's bitch. Like, that's how Reverse Flash gets down. But in terms of this being a potential loss, I also feel like at that point, with Reverse Flash likely being the first he runs into of the super speedster types, this would set a precedent that makes the rest of the way interesting when dealing with the other rogues. That actually gave me a lot of thoughts and gave me a lot of trouble deciding. So we're going to move on. Next, we have Black Flash. Now, Black Flash, basically Death in the Speed Force. This is a weird one. I'm not quite sure how Surfer would go about dealing with this. Technically, he has ways to avoid it. But Black Flash, its nature, how it exists in the Speed Force, and how it operates with Surfer, I don't know if he would run from it like Flash did. Flash kind of ran like a bitch. He was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to outrun this. Fuck that, can't fight it. And he's like, if I get touched, I'm cooked. I don't know if Surfer has the same mentality going into that. He might, to his credit, stand and bang more than Flash would in that scenario, especially if he's just not as aware through the Speed Force of what Black Flash represents. He probably loses at that point, just not knowing the true nature, and not knowing to just outrace it to non-existence. Flash kind of had that insider knowledge in that instance that I don't see Silver Surfer benefiting from, given he's not connected to the Speed Force, so probably loses that one. But an interesting outset, especially if he's dealt with Reverse Flash before that. Next, we have Godspeed, more of a recent super speedster. Buddy was him. Have you seen that fucking suit? Have you seen the drip? Have you seen Godspeed's drip? Like, hold on. You guys know I'm not Flash fans, but Godspeed's drip is fucking crazy. Like, that shit goes too hard. One of the craziest super speedsters we've ever seen. Probably does just beat Surfer in that first encounter outright. Would do him like Runner did Surfer. Probably just too much. I'm gonna be honest. In the new era, especially how you can scale the new era, Godspeed probably takes him. Next, we have Gorilla Grodd. We don't have a loss here. I know we started out with losses for Surfer, but that's okay. We're back, baby. Surfer fans, stand the fuck up. You're not getting beat up in this round. We have Gorilla Grodd. While Gorilla Grodd is an absolute nuisance, I mean his psionic power, his physical capabilities, his nature, his ruthlessness as the leader of the gorillas that are just too OD. Shout out to DC Comics Gorillas, they go hard as fuck. Gorilla Grodd has not presented anything psionically that Surfer hasn't seen before. I actually think Silver Surfer would have the means to take down Gorilla Grodd. He might look at it as some weird shit, but you gotta remember, Marvel Comics, humans and all their animals are raw as fuck. So Surfer's probably not gonna be surprised some gorilla's pulling up on him with the sauce. I actually see Surfer taking this one mid-difficulty. I think he outstats him, has seen shit like him before, and would beat him. Next, we have Dr. Alchemy. Due to the obvious magic alchemy side and brilliance, Dr. Alchemy can be a bit tricky. However, mysticism, alchemy, anything like that, Surfer's seen plenty of it. This is not new for Surfer. I think the most danger obviously comes from the intelligence and brilliance and potentially prepping and preparing for Surfer. But I feel like with the power cosmic, he tips those balances anyway and would take him out. Next, we have Superboy Prime. So I kind of want to tell a quick funny story. It takes 10 seconds regarding me considering Superboy Prime. At first I was like, well, which Superboy Prime is it the Silver Surfer's fighting? And then I realized, does it fucking matter? Each Superboy Prime is him. Like, even when he comes out with crazier feats, he was him before that. Like, he's got too much dog in him. If Thor, off the strength of being a fucking dog, is going toe-to-toe with Surfer, he's cooked going with Superboy Prime. In all seriousness, Superboy Prime's just too tough, too strong, outstats. Don't think he'd be particularly worrying about the reality warping of Surfer. He just takes Surfer down. I got him in that moment. Next, we have Zoom. Now, this is where I said it got weird for me talking about Silver Surfer versus Speedsters. Because at some point, he's going to figure out their bullshit, right? I think if any of the Speedsters were to get caught lacking due to get the bullshit being figured out by Surfer, it's probably Zoom. I think at that point, he probably has so much experience dealing with those using Speed Force or Speed Force type properties that Surfer would have jobbed enough at that point to honestly adapt to someone he's already kind of seen before. I think he beats Zoom high difficulty off the strength of having dealt with all the other rogues that are similar in nature before. Even if he lost to them, Surfer at that point, you know what? He's going to be like, fuck that. I'm not going out like this. I know what you bring to the table at this point. Like, I know what kind of fighter you are. I can beat you if I go all out. I think Surfer would actually change in nature at that point. This is really, like, contentious because at that point, it becomes a, okay, technically Godspeed's one of the newer ones. Like, wouldn't that be the last one he dealt with? It just depends. Like, if you were to put all these super speedsters I've mentioned so far against him, it's like, which one would likely fumble if Surfer starts to figure out how they all work? Probably Zoom. That's just my guess. But you let me know in the comment section down below. He could beat him. I'm definitely down. But I'd say high difficulty Surfer beats him off the strength of prior knowledge of similar characters. Finally, we have Abracadabra. A mystical character, very unserious name, but it's his name nonetheless. I will say in his case, he's gotten stronger throughout the years. He has better feats throughout the years. Abracadabra, due to mysticism and brilliance and prepping, he could be a threat to Surfer, but I don't see him beating Surfer. I actually see Surfer taking him down in this instance mid-difficulty. So overall, how did he do? Surfer did not do bad at all. 7 breezes, 8 tough battles with 4 potential losses. Potentially 5 if you think Zoom beats him, even if he knows about Speed Force users at that point. Again, very contentious. You might think another Speed Force user loses rather than Zoom. Regardless, that's how I got for Surfer. But let's get over to the Flash side of things. How would Flash handle Silver Surfer's rogues in battles? First, let's go through the breezes and warm-ups. First, we have the Fantastic Four. As you guys know, I am a super fan of Ben Grimm the Thing. However, I'd have to use a lot of wank to say him and the rest of his crew in the Fantastic Four have much of an answer to the Flash, especially if he's somewhat serious. The reason I say somewhat serious is the first time Silver Surfer ran into the Fantastic Four, he got knocked out, yes. But that's because he was kind of feral, and he showed up to Earth, landed on the building where Ben fucking Grimm was, and he was like, yo, this is a perfect planet to sacrifice. Like, I can't wait to see this shit get ate. And Ben said, hold the fuck up. I know this bitch ain't talking crazy about my planet. Walked up on him, punched him in the back of the head, and knocked him the fuck out. Is the funniest thing. My point being, that was a kind of feral Surfer. If we put in this instance for the battle, a kind of feral Flash, Fantastic Four's cooked. I see this being an easy win for the Flash. Next, we have Super Skrull. Super Skrull's an interesting one, having stolen the powers of the Fantastic Four, gone against likes of Thor before. I don't see him scaling to a serious Thor, not at all. Super Skrull's interesting, but not enough. His powers are cool. Flash can just avoid them. I feel like he takes Super Skrull down per kind of low difficulty. Next, we have Ronan the Accuser. Big Ronan got a lot more popular after his movie debut in Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's a character with his weapon. He tries to accuse, in charge of accusing planets to star system. Right? He's a beast. However, too slow. I think Flash would just dog his ass, be too much for him. I don't see him doing much to Flash. He gets either BFR'd or cooked. Next, we have Terrax. This is that point where I make fun of this fucking bum. Terrax is absolute trash. I'm sorry. The worst Herald we've seen. Absolute dog shit. Gets beat up by everybody. Sentry cooked him within like fucking 8 seconds. Iron Man threw him out the solar system and then tweeted about it. It's fucking crazy. Terrax is shit. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Dog shit. Isle Terrax. He gets absolutely cooked by the Flash. Now we've kind of left the breezes and warm-ups. Let's talk about the battles and potential losses. First, we have Morg. Now, if you guys don't know who Morg is, he is a Herald of Galactus on Super Crack. Matter of fact, he was so fucking strong, Surfer pulled up on him the first time, got beat the fuck up, and then Surfer was like, okay, I can't come at Morg direct. I'm not winning this 1v1. Let me go get some other Heralds to help me. He goes, tracks down other Heralds of Galactus, and they have to jump Morg to put him down. How does this go if Flash was to fight him? Well, given Morg certainly doesn't hide the fact that he's a crazy fucking alien trying to genocide some shit, Flash isn't going to hold back. And I think that really helps Flash in this instance. Unlike the Flash's rogue gallery, a lot of Surfer's rogue galleries are cosmic in nature or alien in nature and just look like they'll fuck your shit up and blow your planet up. That's a big deal when it comes to characters that will hold back if you don't look like you're about it or if they don't know if you're about it. Morg would be a tough one, but due to his speed and hacks through the Speed Force, I see Flash beating Morg high difficulty. Next, we have Hulk. This is a fucking rough one. This was a savage Hulk that was literally like sometimes losing to just getting his energy siphoned by Surfer. He's lost to sound waves, other forms of energy manipulation. Kind of weird weaknesses in most of the encounters. This is the version Surfer had fought. I see Hulk losing to this Flash as well. Flash probably just BFRs him into the Speed Force if he can't just put him down through other means. Like, if Hulk's taking the Infinite Mass Punch, at that point, Flash is going to be like, fuck that. I'm not dealing with this savage brute anymore, and would BFR him. I think Flash would take this version of the Hulk down mid to high difficulty. Next, we have High Evolutionary. This is an interesting one. He has gone toe-to-toe with Galactus before. Obviously, he has revolutionary cosmic technology and brilliance. He has gone toe-to-toe with Apocalypse before, but Apocalypse laughed at him. This was a hard one for me. If High Evolutionary isn't actively focused on just taking out Flash, like if that's not his main thing, Flash is probably going to get him high difficulty. Like, would just take him down because his cosmic nature, in terms of High Evolutionary, is crazy. And especially if he's, like, trying to study and steal the Speed Force, I think Flash would take that super serious. Probably takes High Evolutionary, high difficulty. Next, we have Ego, the Living Planet. Now, at first, I did not know how I wanted to go about how this battle goes out. Given Ego is a cosmic being, fought Galactus, fought Thor, fought plenty of characters, and is literally its own sentient planet, right? I was like, how the fuck does Flash fight that? Yeah, he's not just running through space. Well, let's say he's on the planet. I think Flash could actually fuck Ego up if he's on his planet. Now, obviously, if like Flash is on Earth, doesn't really have ways to get through him through space, sure, Ego would win, but Flash could probably run around Ego, find his heart, find the way to shut down his body throughout the planet. He's fast enough to do that. I see them giving him that shit narratively. Probably beats Ego, high difficulty if he had to, and landed on Ego the Living Planet. Next, we have Dr. Doom, the first of potential losses. Doom, upon first beefing with Surfer, studied him, prepped for him, and stole his shit, right? Like, just ran down on him and took his shit. I see him doing Flash the same way. I'm sorry, Doom's just too smart, and especially in the same prep scenario he had on Surfer, Flash is fucking cooked. Oh man, if Batman can come up with a plan to take down the Flash, what the fuck do you think Dr. Doom's doing? Like, I'm sorry, Dr. Doom would cook that boy, especially in the same situation Surfer was put in. Next, we have another potential loss, Null. Now, here's an interesting thing, right? You could argue Flash at his absolute peak, because he had a point where, like, recent comics, at his absolute best, like, amped beyond, he was fighting back darkness, of the great darkness. Like, that's crazy. Unless he has that, like, his literal best, highest of possible, he's not going to beat Null. I think Null would take him down, especially at full power. Even mid-tier scaling for Null, scaling to the Phoenix Force, is just too much for the Flash, especially in that first encounter. I feel like he takes down the Flash. Next, we have Mephisto. This is a tough one. Now we know the Hell Lord is capable of a lot of shit. He introduced the Heroes Reborn manipulated timeline. He's introduced a lot of crazy shit. He's fought hella across the Omniverse. All that, cool. He's also gotten punched in his shit in his own realm by Dr. Doom, who wasn't using powers. He's gotten ran down on by everybody. Spider-Man's dodged his shit. Like, who hasn't pulled up on Mephisto? Can we be serious? Mephisto gets pulled up on by everybody. Flash, despite having difficulty here, I think he takes it high difficulty. He pretty much beats Mephisto in a lot of instances, just being smart and outspeeding him. Next, we have Thanos. I actually see this as being a potential loss. Thanos, especially over the years, has gotten quite a bit stronger. Casual team buster with insane speed. His mind hacks are crazy as well. If Flash has problems with Gorilla Grodd's psionic abilities, he's going to be in a lot of trouble going against the likes of Thanos. Thanos should have the speed scaling to react to most versions of the Flash. I have Thanos, due to versatility and scaling, taking this one, although Flash won't be easy for him. Certainly going to be one of the higher tier matchups for him among the heroes, similar to how Surfer is. Next, we have Annihilus. Now, I actually think the Annihilus Flash wave / battle would be extremely cool to see, as it would be like Flash trying to use his speed and the Speed Force to nullify the Annihilation wave and Annihilus himself. I feel like, given Annihilus' nature, how crazy and chaotic he is, how horrible, and the death he spreads, all that, his nature would piss off the Flash. We would get a Flash that'd probably be going all out of here. I think Flash takes him down high difficulty using the Speed Force. Now, next we have Galactus, another potential loss. Now, this is obviously the master of Silver Surfer, the one who gives out the power cosmic. While he certainly is a jobber in his own right, I would never defend Galactus from the title of jobbing. He does job. Flash also fucking jobs. I see Flash running up on Galactus and hitting him, and that not doing shit, and it annoying Galactus, and he beams him away, but more likely would make him a Herald, and Flash as a Herald with the power cosmic would be fucking scary. So that would actually potentially be a thing.
By the way, get in the comment section down below if you want to see that video. I'll fucking make that shit. Just hit the like button, all that. You know what the vibes are.
But getting back to this, I see him losing to Galactus, and either just straight up losing or becoming his Herald. Now, finally, for the battles and potential losses, we have Thor. This was a fucking tough one. Thor, especially in modern times, has some pretty crazy speed scaling, especially with how fast he could potentially go. I don't know if Flash hits hard enough to put him down. On top of that, BFR is not going to work on Thor, given Mjolnir. I don't know, man. Flash is faster, but Thor's gonna get him eventually. This one, I probably slightly favor Modern Thor, although it can be extremely tough, and I can see why people would say Flash would win. It's compelling. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think takes that, especially in the first encounter. But overall, who did better? Let's talk about it. Well, Flash had less cakewalks, way more battles and potential losses, but he beat a lot of them. Whereas Silver Surfer had a lot of cakewalks, but then he also took a fair amount of potential losses, actually didn't beat nearly as much when it came to the battles and potential losses. However, both lose 4 to 5 times. If you have contention with a couple of those that I mentioned, that I said were contentious, it brings it both to around 4 to 5. However, given Flash had more battles, like it was just tougher for him, probably gonna say Silver Surfer takes it, given Flash is gonna have a harder time with Surfer rogues overall than vice versa. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This was extremely close. This was really fun to talk about and analyze. And let me know what you think, as well as, most importantly, get in the comments and let me know who should be swapped next. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and showing support. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.
I appreciate all the fans I had. Hate me or love me. You watched. That's all you could do. Thank you.